Survivor's ready. Go!
Travis spoken.
Boston Rob and Amber are gonna do it.
This is a business trip, as I like to say.
You, Brad Culpepper.
I'm tired of you and the fucking chicken.
You can call me the puppet master. They can be my little puppets.
It's not like you're making a deal with the devil here.
You get to milk your own milk, I guess.
Who the hell voted for me?
Chicken.
Damn! We got enough rocks here, too. We could build a pretty decent shelter just using rocks.
I'm supposed to talk lamb, or you understand that better?
Direct from Hobart, it's time for the only Survivor podcast in Australia dedicated to Survivor, bringing you all the latest interviews, episodes, and opinions from the greatest reality show on the planet. It's Survivor Oz, and here's your host, Ben Waterworth. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to Survivor Oz, Australia's #1 TV and film podcast, as we come to you live and direct from the beautiful, cold, chilly Hobart to talk about Survivor, episode 13 of Worlds Apart, the penultimate episode of the 30th season. Lots to talk about, as always, and it's good to be live again after a week away. Joining me on the line, I have two very young and attractive Ozlets. Well, one's young, one's like fucking old. I don't know how old he is, but whatever. He's from Melbourne. His name's Cable Brandon. How are you, Cable? How old are you again? I always forget.
25.
20, yeah, bullshit you are, mate. Like,
You're not Eminem anymore.
yes.
Oh, that's true. I've left the 8 Mile and,
Yes.
grown up a bit.
How are you, Cable? How's Melbourne this evening?
Yeah, good. It's probably just as cold as good old Hobart. We've had a lot of rain the last couple of days and, yeah, not too much warmth at all.
Well, you should warm up by doing something that warms you up. I don't know.
Like flicking a switch and turning on the heater?
Sure, that might work. Speaking of working, it's a man who lives in the town that Keith Nail is about to put on the map. It's Noah Groves. Noah, welcome back.
Thanks for having me. Hashtag campaign for Keith. And hashtag stick to the plan. Let's get Keith back on next season. And also, let's not forget this season. So yes. I'm glad we're here to talk about the season people have seemed to have forgotten about.
I'm actually glad you said that, Noah, because that was the one weird thing about going into this episode. I felt like this whole campaigning and the whole excitement of next season and talking about who may make it, potential alliances, what the theme might be, it feels like this season was already over. Like, it was almost, I don't know, it's just this weird feeling like, oh, hang on, I've still got a season to finish. And I don't know if you two felt that at all.
That way. It's been I don't say a weird week, but I mean, personally, I've been chatting to a lot of these guys, and my mind's sort of, mode, let's chat about season 31, whereas, this episode comes along, you're like, oh yeah, all right, okay, we've still got to watch this and see how it all plays out, because I think from my perspective, because I haven't really been enjoying this season too much, I'm sort of more looking forward to next season already, considering who we might get to see, so...
Oh, look, I'm not a hater of this season. I know a lot of people have been disappointed, though I'm not absolutely loving it. It's still not as bad as I think what some people have said, but again, I just feel like it's almost like this distractions come about and this excitement for next season. It's almost like Jeff and the CBS have almost like, oh, this is a bad ending. Let's deviate and put something else on the table and get people talking about Survivor in a different way. Almost as if it might be a final 3 that we're not expecting and might be a bit of a letdown.
I have to ask, Noah, Catherine's brought it up. Was this week's episode better than episode 3?
I have to say, I wasn't loving this episode, but it was far better than episode 3. That was a sucky episode. No one likes that episode, except for this Dylan guy seems to love that episode. Don't know what's up with that. Hashtag episode 3 love, question mark. I thought this was a pretty meh episode, but it definitely had its moments. The tribal was fun, and I thought there was a few humorous moments, which is kind of a common theme with this season. I'm not a huge fan of this season, but I think that has a lot of funny moments in it, which is one plus.
We're going to be in about a week's time, actually, because the Oscar voting starts up. We will all be ranking seasons. Once again, we do it once a year. And it's kind of getting to that point now where we're all having to think where we're going to have to rank Worlds Apart. And I won't ask you now, because we want to be surprised, I guess. But I guess, Cable, are you already at least thinking where you might put this season? Don't have to tell us, but, do you have a bit of an idea where you would rank this season?
Yeah, I was thinking it was probably middle-ish. Like, there's been episodes I've really enjoyed that I felt, and also towards the ending, I thought if it's really strong finish, like last few episodes, like Sana and Del Sur, that it could really bump itself up. But I think, I don't know, it all depends on the winner as well and how it finishes, I guess. But yeah, it's probably not at the top of my list, but it's not at the bottom either.
Noah, you were talking to me earlier about if a certain person wins this season, where they would rank. Are you thinking already about where this season would rank?
I haven't really thought about it, and to be honest, I don't think we can give an accurate ranking until maybe next year's rankings. But if I had to say at this point, and I don't think the finale is going to change anything at this point, we're at the point where it's pretty set in stone. It's definitely a bottom 10 season. Definitely not the worst. There are worse seasons, Redemption Island South Pacific, or Redemption Island Ship Pacific, and Cara Shit. I don't know. I don't have creative ideas. So it's not the worst. Bottom 10.
Cara Shit. I like that.
I'm too tired.
No, it's getting that way. Dear Noah. I don't know why I just said dear Noah, whatever. Apparently I won't do that.
It's just a hole in your butt.
Hey, yeah, you picked up on that. Woo. Not woo. Are we?
Woo. Hashtag don't vote woo. What are you doing with this subliminal advertising?
Hey, Dalton Ross and Perez Hilton are voting for woo, so like...
Are you going to finish this episode with woo with your stupid subliminal campaign?
It's going to be like, woohoo, don't vote for woo, don't vote for woo, woohoo, don't vote for woo.
Hashtag we're impartial. You can vote for whoever you want as long as it's Keith and not Woo.
Yes, indeed. I just want to send a special hello to people watching this live. I don't do it enough. Hi, Zachary. Hi, Catherine. Hi, Gerard. Hi, Dylan. Hi, Terry. Terry Dietz is listening. Hi, Terry. Thanks for the interview last night, mate.
Good luck. Was
good. Zachary, I just want to send out a special hello to you because you have been commenting and sending lots of questions in recently. Thank you very much. And I didn't get a chance to ask Tash tonight about her ranking on the Survivor. I'm glad you're so passionate about finding out what players think about their rankings.
I love the rankings, but I feel like we shouldn't piss off some of our guests who are low.
Please stop asking those questions, really.
Although Billy gave listen to the episode to find out where he was, so he shouldn't care too much.
Yes, and our
hashtag veto Billy.
And our finale recapper next week, or I will tell you who it will be. I know for the fact that person would be very interested where they finished, so we'll get to that.
Yeah, you could tell that person because I feel like that person won't give a shit.
Yes,
but some of these survivors are a bit sensitive.
Now, there wasn't a whole lot, I feel, going on before. I wrote straight away in my notes here, though, Dan going. I thought kind of... Okay, well, you brought it up before we even started about the editing from the previously on Survivor. How they're getting a little bit maybe too spoilery, a bit too obvious. I think we spoke about this last season with it. I mean, you brought that up. What do you think they need to change? Do they need to stop being so obvious? Like, Carolyn still hasn't played her idol. Dan has an extra vote. Like, da-da-da. Will they use it tonight?
Look, I don't know how they address that, but I think if anyone is a fan of Survivor, you don't miss an episode. I understand they put them there also to just refresh your memory if you've missed something, or look, a lot of shows do it, but I just felt like for a few weeks, I could be wrong, someone can let us, message us and let us know, but I felt like for a few weeks we haven't heard about Carolyn's idol, and then all of a sudden it was mentioned and or shown in the recap at the start of the episode. So I thought, well, that to me just rings that she's going to play it or use it to her advantage tonight. So for me, I felt like, well, that's just, I don't know, just I don't know. They could have done it a bit better to sort of keep it a little bit more up in the air.
The one I remember from last season was, I mean, we hadn't had an idol played, and then, like, you know, straight away that week's previous on Survivor was, you know, there are 50,000 idols out there, and none have been played this week, like this season. Like, it was like, I wonder if one's going to be played tonight. So, yeah. I mean, the key thing, really, before we had the reward challenge, we saw Carolyn and Mike, their little relationship. Carolyn telling Mike about Dan's extra vote. I loved Mike's reaction, just sitting there, who kind of had a blank look on his face, and he's just like, I don't understand. What does it mean? Noah, Carolyn and Mike, this little relationship-y bond that Carolyn kept saying wasn't actually a bond, it was just her playing Mike.
Hashtag Mrs. Freeze, your female Brian Hardy.
I like that reference. I like that reference last week, Noah. The Brian Hardy guy, I like it.
Yeah. Well, if you've approved on
Ben Waterworth, Brian Hardick approved.
Yeah, I freaking love her. She's awesome. I'm not sure I love this move. What is the advantage in telling Mike that? I haven't had time to fully process it.
Yeah, yeah. Do you want me to speak about that?
No, you jump in.
Well, I mean, the initial thing was, I like you guys, I'm thinking, this is brilliant by her. She's playing both sides. She's feeding Mike the information, so garnering a bit of trust with him, but also knowing the advantage, and she can use that with Dan. The problem being, then when Mike was scrambling and went to Dan saying, they're all voting you, when they threw out the fake, we're voting for Dan thing, he could have used that and said, look, I know you got 2 votes, let's swing this back on Carolyn. So it could have really backfired on her that Mike knew that information. So that was the only thing I sort of thought, well, she's played it well, but again, it could bite her in the ass. The only thing Mike wouldn't have known is that she had the idol.
I feel like, the fact that no one knew about her idol, and we'll jump into this, but she had that since flipping one. She used it on the second last try that she ever had to. That doesn't say wonders to her game, even if she gets voted out next. I don't know what is, because that is probably a record.
Yep.
But I feel like this playing both sides, she's doing it so perfectly. She's, because Mike has no one, so what's there to lose for Mike? Of course he's going to be on her side. So she can get that Mike angle. She's got an alliance with everyone in the game. We're talking before this tribal council. Who knows what will happen next week. But again, and I'd like to hear your opinion, but I haven't actually made up my mind, but I feel like playing both sides was absolutely brilliant. She pulled it off so well, but I'm not sure about this telling him about the double vote. I guess there's pros and cons.
Yeah, I was a bit that way because I guess we'll get to Mike eventually. I mean, I was impressed kind of how Mike did some things this episode. But, it was an interesting move because I agree with you about playing sides. I mean, who up until the tribal council was, didn't like Carolyn, putting Rodney's sort of, pissed off nature aside about not taking me on my damn birthday, man, whatever. But
it's my damn birthday.
But I mean, besides that, everybody loves her, and this is where I think your Brian Hardick comparisons are great because she's wheeling and dealing, she's making these moves, and she's being a cutthroat player. Yet people love her and aren't seeing this. So
yeah, she's Mama C.
Yeah. So to do this, I'm not sure because there was no need for her to do that except keeping her options open. So I guess in a way she keeps her options open by being flat out honest with him to kind of give him some hope in case shit hits the fan, which it did.
I like that.
Because,
Well, normally, sorry to butt in, but normally in Survivor, a way of garnering people's trust is to say, oh, by the way, I've got an idol.
Yeah.
But she didn't do that. She said, by the way, trust me, Dan's got a vote doubler. So I guess if you look at it like that, that was quite great.
Because you exactly what you said in terms of like keeping that idol secret. I mean, Tyler knew about it, didn't he? So I mean, I think Tyson kept his secret on screen at least. We obviously found out after the game that I think Gerbs did know about it. But it might be a record from somebody keeping it that secret for that long. I'm sure we might find out after the game that other people didn't know about.
Not even secret, but just having it for that long.
Yeah.
She had it since basically the earliest point possible through to the second last point possible without ever having to use it.
I guess at the end of the day, she knows the time to play her idol is either this tribal council or the next, because they're the last 2 times she can. If she pisses people off, again, as you said, we'll see next week whether, Rodney Wheel and Sierra lose their shit at her for doing it, and then they could go off and do their own thing, but then she's got Mike on side at least, so...
She's got options.
Yeah, she's keeping those options open, which I guess is a smart thing to do. But I think it's so fascinating with her and her edit this season, because like we saw in that first episode just how much screen time she got. She set that record for most confessionals in a first episode ever. Then she kind of went quiet for a little bit, but she's all full force in it. I mean, Noah, with the editing this season and kind of reading who's left in the game, do you feel that as if she wins the game, it's been sort of a very steady edit, if you know what I mean, compared to some of the other winners we've seen recently?
No, I don't think it's a steady edit if she wins. I think there was a huge lull period not a lil period, a lull period. Lil period, I don't want to think about that.
Veto!
A lull period in the middle of the game, but because we were like, oh yeah, Carolyn, after the first episode, then the rest was like, oh, where did she go? We loved her. And she was invisible. But I keep saying, I think she's getting the Natalie edit. This is the new winner edit, I guess, if she wins. Because Natalie, she was kind of there around the start, disappeared in the middle in the first merged episodes. I don't think she was even said anything. And then in the last 3 or 4, she just spat out. I was like, Natalie is playing the game, Natalie.
Yep.
So I think it's very Natalie edit. So if she wins, I won't be surprised at all, because it seems like the editors are following a pattern.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying from a confessional side of things. She was quiet in that middle part, but I'd sort of disagree. Look, I mean, I don't rewatch the seasons as quickly as you two normally do, but if you go back and watch it, I'm pretty sure you'll see that she was very subtle in the background, just reading what people were doing a lot of observing, but also just nudging people in the right direction in making certain moves. And especially when the tribe switch and she's heard a jump ship, everyone just assumed she was with the white collars, and she goes, no, I hate Serena Max, let's get rid of him, kind of thing. And she just kept that under her hat. I mean, she made some moves, just probably she didn't have a massive confessional count, so that's probably why we probably think she's been quiet as well.
Well, Noah, to go on your Brian Heidick comparison, I mean, Brian wasn't exactly during sort of those early middle episodes, he wasn't exactly on your screen every 5 seconds. I mean, he did get a confessional every episode, but there was a period there where he was only getting a couple. It was sort of only released at the end that he was really getting that strong edit. But if you look at Carolyn's confessional count, 13 in the first episode, then she had a total of 13 over the next 7 episodes. So, she had half, after 8 episodes, 26 confessionals, but half of them came in episode 1.
Well, that's what I said to you a few weeks ago. It's like, yeah, Carolyn's got this big number next to her, but really, a lot of it came from F1.
Yep.
Sorry, Cable.
Sorry, Cable. We're just talking Survivor here. Sorry we're boring you.
No. That was a burp.
Because she was extremely relevant in episode 1, because she found the idol, So was after her, she made an alliance with Tyler, and she had and I still love her quote, how exciting is that? You opened a few knots. Episode 1 was probably my favourite tribal council this season. And then after that, she kind of, I don't think Kay was wrong. She had subtle things in the background, but she really faded from relevance compared to Mike and Dan and Joe. Well, maybe not Joe, but yeah. So I feel very Natalie here.
It's true, and like I liked what you said before about, is this the new winner's edit? Because again, we keep applauding Survivor editors since they got their pay rise. They've been doing their job like a great deal better than maybe they did for a period there. Because
still not brilliant, but it's better.
Oh, but it's like because, you know, again, going on Natalie's edit, and then you still got to go to Tony's edit at the time, you know, again, it's easy to look back at it now and think, well, the guy got like 90-odd confessionals, of course he was a winner, but again, we weren't saying that every week during Kagayan that he was a winner, so it's, I mean, again, Carolyn hasn't won this game yet, we are aware of that, we're maybe jumping the gun, because if you base it on confessionals, then Mike's winning, because he's on 63 right now, but, yeah, I mean, I know you've been a fan of Carolyn since day one. Noah, you've been always on the Carolyn train. I love Carolyn. I would be very happy with her to win. I sort of, maybe there was a period there where I sort of went off her a little bit, but I'm still on there. And I will say that I managed to have a conversation with her this week, because we were sort of just asking the question about, you know, the second chance interviews, and she was she wrote back pretty much to me straight away, obviously explaining she can't do them, but she said she would love to come on the show to chat about Survivor, and she appreciated our support. And then she actually tweeted, I think, us yesterday or the day before, just saying, hey, have you guys voted for Mama C today? So...
Oh, nice.
So, hi, Carolyn.
I didn't initially, but in my last few votes, I have chucked some. I'm still debating whether or not it's worth it or not.
I generally vote for her each time, but yeah, it's kind of a case of, is it worth it? Because if she's winning, well, she's not coming back, so...
I put it on maybe every third vote I do. I'll put a Carolyn in.
Cable, are you a Carolyn fan?
Yeah, I was pretty much from day one. Like, she's not my all-time favourite character, but she was definitely the couple of people I was interested in seeing how they played, and I think, yeah, like you said, like they're having their 13 confessionals, but she said, like, you can have 13 confessionals, but they can be absolute garbage. But a lot of the things she said just showed to me that she knew how the game worked. She knew what she was doing. She knew obviously Tyler. Well, we joke about it now, but I think she does come across very smart and to the point. She knows what she's there for. Yeah, you're right. Maybe it is Brian Heidick Mark II, the female version, because she's definitely come with a purpose. She hasn't just been there to make up the numbers. She's known probably what she's wanted to tell story-wise, or when the producers speak to her. She's known what to say. I was just interested, maybe we can talk about it a bit later, but I actually thought once Carolyn told Mike about Dan's advantage, and then when Mike started to think that maybe everyone was going to vote for Carolyn, even though he could have her in his pocket, why wouldn't he just go along with that and let her go? Because she's the only threat to him winning.
But isn't she the only one who's willing to work with him?
Well, no, that's true too. That's the only other thing I could think. But is that the risk you take? Because if he can only get there with her at the end, he still might not win. So, do you know what
I see what you're saying. I guess it's the tricky thing I think about things like that is that we're seeing an edit in that we can tell who's not winning. Whereas maybe for him out there, he might think, Sierra could win. Like, Sierra we might find out post-game. I'm not saying Sierra can't win, but, like, we might find out post-game that Sierra was this amazingly, funnily awesome. Kind of like a Caleb in Blood vs. Water. We found out post-game that Caleb was amazing and everyone thought he was going to win, but he got a terrible edit. So Sierra could be like that. So maybe Mike could be thinking, hey, Sierra, I don't know. But I see what your point is. Noah, what do you think kind of what Cable mentioned there?
Yeah, I see that point, but also the fact she got 4 votes tonight, so we can't fault her for having Mike on her side. Plus, he won immunity anyway. If he didn't win immunity, Mike was going home. It was just a fallback, and she didn't really need it this time because she used her idol. But now she has options because she can go with Mike and they can try and swing Will. Maybe that was foreshadowing this week at the picnic thing with Will. But he didn't seem to budge much.
But in fairness to Will, like he's a realist too. Like anyone that goes, he probably knows he's not going to beat Carolyn anyway. But he takes Mike as well. He definitely ain't winning. He's not getting a vote. So
Will is not winning anyway, so he might as well go for the third place money.
Will probably will get to the final tribal council and vote for like Shirin to win or something. Like he won't have a clue who's in the final 3.
But in fairness to Will, like Dan was still in the game and he's got Rodney and Sierra. He might actually honestly think he's got a shot against those guys. So
I think that's the thing. Like, I think at the end of the day, exactly right. Everybody at the game at this point would assume they've got a chance of winning the game. Like, when have you ever heard of a survivor? I mean, even Natalie Tenorelli thought she was going to win the game. There's probably every person who gets to that point, but I guess we're seeing it through the editor's eyes, and when you're playing the game, Wu thought he had a shot against Tony, so...
Delusional.
That's why he doesn't deserve a second chance.
Hashtag don't vote Woo.
Hashtag vote however you want, but I personally prefer if you didn't vote Woo.
We nothing personal against Woo. We're being silly, but seriously, don't vote Woo.
Playing around. It's a joke. But if you don't want to vote for him, that's fine.
I want to backtrack to the reward challenge. Again, another shit team reward challenge. Whoop-de-doo.
Yes.
And here we get caught up. We kind of got like a mini tribal council, didn't we? Like Jeff grilling Rodney. I love Rodney to bits. I say this every week. I love the guy. But seriously, man, get over it. You didn't get taken away on your birthday. Like, I think he needs to just take a step back. Do we not agree?
I just freaking love that he never won a reward, and we've kind of passed the reward point. There probably won't be any more rewards. I think that's a great story arc thing to have, that he just never won. But I'd love that, like, come on, it's 2 days after my damn birthday.
I did like the drama of it, though, with Carolyn, like, trying to make that decision. I mean, that was good. But, I mean, Noah, did she make the right choice there, not giving it up?
Following a hip-thrusting performance,
I think it's probably the right decision, because you're at Final 6, and you're then leaving Rodney with Mike, and they're unlikely to work together, but you never know what would happen. There could be an idol clue there. Rodney's back at camp with Sierra and Dan, so that's not too big of a drama, that's just the alliance. And she won it, so I don't think she should have needed to feel guilt-tripped into doing it. So I think it was a fine decision.
Cable?
Yeah, I actually just dropped out for a sec, so I don't know, I might have missed a little bit of what Noel was saying, but at the start of the challenge, like, I know what you're saying, I cringed, and then, again, my partner, she was like, will Rodney shut the fuck up about this, reward, I haven't been on a reward, but I don't know what, I just still felt like Jeff was really pulling it out, like you said, like at Tribal Council, I felt like Jeff was working it a bit as well, like he knew it was there, and he kind of pulled out. I'm like, why bring this up again? But look, I'm sure I'll be wrong as well, but I think Carolyn's one of the first people to say, look, I did say this maybe, but this is my experience too. And I think that is, like, you look at last season where people were given rewards up left, right and centre, but it is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I just think giving up rewards is just, unless it is a really good strategy to make sure you get...
Exactly.
Sorry?
You never win.
Unless you're Natalie, you never win.
Natalie.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It is once in a lifetime opportunity, and you just you really need to enjoy it. And if you win rewards, you win rewards. It's not, I don't know.
If we learn anything from Cindy Hall, it's I don't know where I'm going with this.
How's that for a reference? If we learned anything from Cindy Hall, it's that I'll be thinking about you looking through the sunroof of my new car.
I don't know where I was going with Cindy, but she did something with awful.
But Ben, did you also say that? Did you notice Jeff kind of had a go at Rodney again about the challenge?
Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, he definitely did. I don't think Jeff liked Rodney because I mean he sort of was even at Tribal Council almost like saying to him, "How do you not understand the question? Is it because you're not eating?"
I love that man.
Yeah, Jeff does not like Rodney, but that was a whole interesting scenario. How we very rarely get that before a challenge where it's almost like Tribal Council where Jeff's like, "You're still going on about this, Rodney. Carolyn, take me through this. Should we have to,
But even at during the challenge, when they dropped the tray with all the blocks and the letters, and then Rodney started taking the ones with the letters up to the board.
No, you're still collecting, Rodney. You're still collecting.
But that's what I don't get, because then later on you can actually see it was up to the team to decide, have we got enough, and then we're going to go to the board. Mm-hmm. But technically they could have left blocks behind. So I'm like, well, how is what Rodney doing? Unless you had to do it as a 3, why is Rodney doing anything wrong?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just sometimes
I love that puzzle.
maybe just Jeff
all
doesn't
the
like it.
fixing.
The puzzle was great.
I can't believe they did all the fixing.
I mean, straight away, though, as soon as we saw the teams, like, you know, Carol and Mike will, Dan, Sierra, Rodney, I'm like, yeah, Rodney's not going on reward this time either. But, yeah, I loved them trying to work it out. Was it Will turns around and is like, I wash. I fucking love Rodney's a reward that will fix wishing.
Yeah.
But like they
And then
had
Sierra had it.
Yeah, they had it. They had fixing, and like
And then someone's like, oh no.
doesn't
No, Dan
work.
said not enough letters. Yeah.
Jeff
So
Probst.
it's a bit tricky because it was fixins,
Yeah.
not
But it had-
fixing.
didn't
So
it
it's a
not-
bit of a cheat.
But it had the little apostrophe thing above the N, so surely that would have given it away, like fixin'.
Is this an M or a W?
I did have to say, Jeff Probst was on, like, fine form. He was back to Psalm 1 del Sir Jeff with what he's, you know, when he's...
You could tell he wanted to go back to his trailer, couldn't you?
it was brilliant,
Like,
though.
come on! You have all these things. Like, hamburgers, chicken, vegetarian, and...
Dove.
I love it.
all the... like, he was that obvious.
Rhymes with Rixons. I loved his, like, you know...
Bianca Mixon.
I say this... Think about somebody who quit on Nicaragua. Purple Kelly! No, I loved it when he was like, I say the same 200 words over and over and over and over. I'm in therapy, I say it all the time.
Which is probably true.
Yes, could you imagine Jeff in like a therapist? I can't stop saying all the fixins.
Well, he would be used to being the therapist, so he'd be talking back. So if you say that to me, does that mean you are thinking of the end game? Just sit down, Jeff.
It was so good, and then he's like, yeah, getting really fed up with it. Think about when you're watching commercials, and you get this, and you
Think
get
about hashtag Criminal Minds on CBS Wednesday night.
when you're watching a commercial of CSI, now on iView, or whatever.
When you're watching a commercial, Fitbit, Toyota.
I loved Carolyn's, like her moment where the bell went off in her head, and they zoomed up on her face, and she's like, ding, 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 and they just went for it.
They should have put a light bulb in.
Yes. that
Hashtag light
emoji
bulb.
video they did online. Like, doing
That will be the next one.
that is the worst
Carolyn
moment.
has an idea.
Can we just please point out the worst moment in the history of CBS
Survivor.
social media? Survivor emojis.
Yeah. It's terrible.
Go Cable.
No, I want to know why. You know, this is our 30th season. Okay, challenges change and the game's evolved. Why is it now that we've seen a lot of these puzzle challenges where the teams can see each other's boards? What happened to having that little bit of a, you know, blind or sort of thing? So you can't copy, like you can actually think it out a bit and you just got to be quiet. And then then there's a strategy of turning the blocks over or having them stand up or whatever. But really, like...
More drama,
I
I'm
don't know.
guessing. I mean, think back to One World when, you know, cheater! Any moment to bring up Tarzan. You can't do that! Cheater! Fucking Tarzan. Why isn't he on the list?
I'd love to see Tarzan have a hashtag second chance.
Imagine him doing he wouldn't remember.
What do you mean,
anybody's
poop
name.
return? Hashtag poop return.
Poop strikes back.
Oh, Tarzan.
His video would be the dance he does.
The Unga Bunga dance. I want somebody to make a gif of that, please.
How is that not a gif?
And of him washing Leaf's face. Hashtag go see Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
Hashtag bring back Tarzan.
Oh, please. So yes, Carolyn doesn't give it up. They go on a helicopter ride. Will gave a Jeremiah quote. It was Mike gave the Jeremiah quote, sorry. I've never been on a helicopter. Sorry,
before.
I've never been on a helicopter before.
He's just been in the Batwing.
Yeah. Did anyone notice at the start of the episode, like when they got back to Tribal Council, like I don't know if Mike was whispering or something, like he sounded different, but the next day he was back to being Batman. He's like when he was around the camp, he just sounded different, and then he's like, I'm Batman. So
It was his inside voice.
his inside voice. So we see the interesting, Mike trying to come up with the final three, and Carolyn was like, "I'd definitely be open to thinking about this as the final three," and Will's like, "You're enemy number one. I'd have to think about it." Like, why?
Will,
say
what
that,
are you
Will?
doing? You're ruining everything.
Like, come on, didn't we learn from Jonathan Penner? Just say yes.
Yeah, Will.
Do we have the Wilhelm scream cable?
Oh, no, I didn't have it queued up.
No.
I want him to win, just so they put that into the edit of him. Will is the winner.
And we got a Dan scream this episode when Mike won immunity. It's like, Mike won immunity.
Just randomly, this is just completely random in the middle, but this should have been the Loved Ones episode.
Yeah, I was thinking that before, actually.
Bring back proper Loved Ones. We haven't had that since Philippines.
Well, Cagayan, wasn't it, where they had that random little visit at the end, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
what a waste of freaking time.
Did they not have one in... Oh, Caramoan was like in the...
Double Loved Ones.
That's
like,
right.
You can have two to Cochrane.
Yeah. And that's when did Brenda give that up?
Yeah, Philippines
Yeah.
was the last time they've had a proper one. Why couldn't this one have had a proper one?
I want to see Rodney's mum, because I love that quote when he was... What was he talking about this episode? Like, oh, we're with these people 24/7. I couldn't even... No, I've written here. I love my mum to... I would wring my mum's neck, even though I love her to death. Well, by like, why, killing her? Like,
Yeah, literally love her to death.
yeah, I thought that was a bit too literal there, Rodney.
Loved Ones.
Yeah, where will we get the random one next week? Maybe. Who
Hope
knows?
not. Waste of time.
Surf and turf is Rodney's favourite meal, by the way.
Loves it.
Is that what they put it on, or?
Well, you just kept going on about it. So then
I like a chicken and reef over a surf and turf.
I don't like seafood, so yeah.
Oh, what? What?
Jesus, what the fuck was that?
There we go. I don't like seafood. Prawns.
Yuck.
You would seriously go on this reward and say, "Oh, get this surf off my turf."
Yes. Hashtag get this surf off my turf.
I'll take my clothes off for surf and turf.
But without the surf. Yeah, no, I don't like
a surf and a turf.
That's why I'd hate Survivor, because I'd be there on like day 25 starving my ass off, and then like Rupert catches me a fish. Here you go, Ben, have a fish. And I'd just be like, nah, don't like fish, sorry.
Well, you don't.
What was that, Cable?
Don't you eat fish even?
No, I don't.
Fish is the bomb.
Is
what
it?
about a filet fish?
Boo! No one likes a fillet fish. Actually, speaking of McDonald's, just a random topic. Have you been to McDonald's recently where you can make your own burger?
Oh, I want to try this.
Oh, it is the best. I made this one last week. It was like, if I wasn't in a public restaurant with my fiance, I would have had sex with it.
Did you put that on Instagram or Facebook
I did,
or something?
and people didn't believe me, like, because I said this is McDonald's, and everyone was like, "Oh, where are you actually eating, Ben?" And I'm like, McDonald's, because they bring out the chips in a little basket thing. It's like it's really cool,
like a restaurant.
Yeah, and
what did you have in your burger?
I had it was an Angus beef patty. I had
Patty.
Okay, no, I'll Jeff Pros. Angus beef patty, Parmesan cheese, Swiss cheese, bacon, grilled pineapple, herb aioli dressing, all on a bakery sourdough bun.
With all the fixings.
So fucking good.
For those who are saying this is off topic, McDonald's is actually a new sponsor for Survivor, and that's not even a joke.
McDonald's is fucking great. All right, and
I want to try this. Make your burger.
I don't know if they have. I don't know if they have it in America. It's in Moona McDonald's in Tasmania. But basically, you walk up to a screen. And it's like a touch screen, and you make your burger. And you can also like order, like a fillet of fish and shit like that as well. But like you pay for it all there. You get a little ticket. You go sit down, and they bring it out to you like you're at an actual restaurant. It's
a restaurant.
And like Louise ordered just a McChicken meal, right? and I ordered
Fillet fish.
the no. I ordered like
Is this your idea of a romantic date? This is where you take
Louise. we went.
It's like I'm taking you out for dinner, love.
we went.
McDonald's, they've got this create your own burger thing. Come on, Louise. What are you waiting for?
Hey, we were going to see Anastasia that
fancy.
night, all right? So we had to go see Anastasia afterwards. So it was very romantic. But like Louise's chips came out and just your shitty little McDonald's cardboard thing, been sitting in the Bain Marie all day. They weren't even fresh. Mine were like freshly cooked in this lovely little.
Did she not get to make her own burger?
No, it was too fancy for her. She just likes her.
What did she get?
Just a McChicken. Yeah.
Just a McChicken.
Yeah.
She's not that classy. Is
No. She's just simple. She's just Louise from the block. You know, she likes it simple.
Let's go next Thursday.
Well, next Thursday. There you go. Look, Noah and I are planning our man date next week. Yes, Louise actually won't be home next Thursday, so you won't even get to meet her. So.
How good media.
Oh, I love how we're just planning our personal lives on an episode. Everybody come around to my house next week. We're going to McDonald's to create your own burger. We'll watch Survivor.
Just how convenient that Louise is not home.
Oh, yes. No, I made it deliberate because she doesn't exist.
McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Yes.
So
Filet fish, boo. The immunity challenge.
I could make a surf and turf burger. I'll put a fish patty in and then an Angus beef patty.
Ooh.
A surf and turf burger.
Hey, there you go. Mix surf and turf. Why isn't that a thing?
We should be like inventing these burgers and then putting them on for sale for them.
McDonald's actually tweeted me back and said, "Oh, that's delicious. What did you have?" Like, I'm not kidding. The McDonald's official account tweeted me.
It's better. Our valued customer.
Thanks, Ronald. Cheers, mate.
Actually, it's funny. It's funny how we've totally got off the tangent and not even talk about Survivor anymore. But
what's Survivor? This is McDonald's Oz.
Oh, seeing I thought we were on a schedule. But
I'm loving it.
But it's funny you say that. Oh, my computer just went blank. Because actually, this is a while ago now. But last season when I was watching Survivor, I tweeted, about to watch Survivor, blah blah blah, blah, and hashtag all this and that. And then I got like a like from Domino's Pizza, and then they sent me a free coupon for pizza.
Wow.
Because they read that tweet. I'm like, I didn't even mention pizza. I'm like, beautiful. No, just the standard pizza.
Well, what did you tweet about if you didn't tweet about pizza? Because I want to know this magic
Watching
pizza code.
Survivor thinking of pizza?
No.
I need to know this magic pizza code that's not actually talking about pizza.
Does that work? Watching Survivor thinking of Natalie Portman and she rocks up at my door?
What? What's Natalie Portman got to do with anything?
Oh, she's got to do with everything.
Pizza.
Natalie Portman. Anyway.
Hi, I'm Natalie Portman. I'm here to tell you about the new burger, McSurf and Turf.
Please watch a message from our sponsors.
You may have seen me in movies such as Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace. V for Vendetta. The other movie I'm in.
Black Swan. The other boiling girl. Anyway, yes, thank you,
White
Zachary.
Swan.
Back to the episode.
Survivor.
Yes.
You can edit that out.
They've got the internet on computers now. I loved, was it Colin tweeted, did you see, actually this is on the topic of Survivor, was it Colin? He's a big Stephanie Valencia fan, and
clearly
he put a photo on her wall on Facebook. Everyone watches The Simpsons. There's that episode where Homer's like, oh, they have the internet on computers now.
Yep.
And there's like a picture of like Homer saying like, oh, you can vote for Stephanie on the computer now, or something like that. I laughed. Anyway.
No, I did say it. I laughed too.
Get your Stephanie Valencia questions in. I'm interviewing her at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. But the immunity challenge, we had the one where they've got to get the balls. They've got to go into the hole. We had the best quote from Jeff Probst where he's... hang on, I've written it down. How can I miss it? It was so funny. He's like, Mike, going in and out again or something like that. I wrote it down. It was funny. Anyway, the question I wanted to ask is they had to retrieve the little things with their grappling hook, and then they had to take the ball to the maze. Why did they have to get 3 when they only had to use 1?
That was weird.
Like, can anyone think that logically?
I was trying to think that too. Then I thought maybe there was only one ball in the 3 bags, so you had to get 3 to make sure you had the ball. Or maybe it was just to make sure it was just a little bit more challenging than just getting 1 bag. They thought, well, let's chuck 3 in there. I don't know.
I'm guessing it had to do with something like that. Like, oh, this would be stupid if, we just had to get 1. But
yeah. I don't know.
What they should have done is they should have made you get 1. Then you had to run up to the table, open it up. Oh fuck, it's a rock. So go back and get it. You know what I mean? It should have been.
Yeah.
It just was pointless. Oh, you got 3. Just choose any of them.
Well, the other thing is, again, I actually had one of those board games at home. Not the exact same thing, but the little one where you got the little knobs and you got to move the little metal ball and you've got the little holes and you got to exactly like that was.
Oh,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but you had 3 or 4 metallic balls. Now, I agree with you. I was sort of thinking, okay, they're going to have 3 balls, so when they drop one, instead of having to run and go get it if it's on the other side of the maze, they've got one in their pocket. They can just chuck it straight back in and at least get moving straight away. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm saying? Instead of having to retrieve that 1 ball.
It was just, I don't know. It just annoyed. The whole challenge just annoyed me. To me, it was obvious Mike was winning. Let's be honest. I think we all kind of got to that.
Obvious since the previously.
But Sierra very nearly got it. I found the quote, Mike in the hole, but back out.
There we go. Just on that, we totally dropped the ball, no pun intended, on the inappropriate codes last week. Because it was something to do with Rodney forgot the balls or something. It was a perfect line about Will. It was like Will pulling on his rope or Will's tugging or something, and we had this one that was not even as good as that one.
I don't even know what, because I'm not doing, Jared Elliott used to do those. Now Jared Lubeek does those. And no offense...
Jared, Will's pole!
No offense to Jared Elliott, but he'd always miss the golden ones. I'd always have to tweet him, in an episode, that's an obvious one, and then he'd put, Tony drops his stick. Very funny.
It's funny you say that because when I did the rewatch of Cook Islands, there's a very, well, maybe it's my sick mind, but there was one with Parvati and a box and Jeff talking about the box in one of the challenges, and I forgot to write it down. I
think you're mistaking Parvati for Leaf.
the best one ever was the, I think it might have, there was the one in One World where they had to hold the tray with the balls on it. That was that is the most epically sexual innuendo challenge ever Jeff has done. And it was Troyzan with both balls hanging on either side of the disc. And even Troyzan stopped.
They haven't moved in a long time.
And even Troyzan is you can see him laughing at what Jeff is saying. But anyway. I digress. Mike wins. Sierra nearly does. We get Dan having his scream. And that was where you meant to do a Wilhelm scream, but
I was sorry, I didn't want to jump in, but I know. Look, I've been a lot of challenges have been really close, but how? Maybe it's the camera work, bit of good editing, but how close did that challenge look to Sierra just beating Mike?
I think that really was down. I know what you're saying. They edited it to make it look closer. I think that was legitimately that close.
But how often, literally, Mike's ball did keep sort of swinging around that spot and then almost back out. I was so hoping it.
Sorry, just the way you said that. Mike's ball.
I feel like those close-up shots maybe reshoots.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, they're reshoots. But
so we'll never know. But I guess it was probably close.
I think it was close. Just the way Jeff was vroom, vroom, vroom. Have to point a special mention to Rodney's grappling hook skill.
And Carolyn, did you see one point Carolyn flinged it up directly level with her head?
Yes.
Move, Carolyn!
I mean,
you're going to be medivac.
In a challenge where Will actually gets to the next stage, then... It was good. But Mike wins it. We see all the scrambling, and then we obviously get to the point where we get to tribal, and... we get the vote. I sort of mentioned it before. I was impressed with Mike. I liked the way Mike sort of handled that. I thought he did well in sort of when he was talking about the fact that they're being a little bit too, hey, why are they all saying Dan? And then he worked it all out. And when he
was playing both sides too.
Yeah, I was impressed with Mike actually how he did that. And then I loved the moment when Sierra and Carolyn are talking. and he just pops up, and Sierra's like, "Oh my god, Jesus, you scared the hell out
Yeah, we
of
need
me."
a gif of that as well.
Sierra
that was
hasn't had
cool.
any moments this season, but that's the one
It
Sierra
seems
moment.
so weird because it was such a serious setting the scene for the tribal, and then that just so didn't fit with it.
That was hilarious. But yeah, Tribal Council, we had Rodney's little brain fart moment where Jeff was picking on him and he's like, "I'm sorry, what was the question?" And then Dan's like, "I'm going to give you a very political, boring answer. Rah, 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 rah."
Oh, Jeff's face.
Yes.
Okay.
But then we get the Dan playing the advantage. Excuse me.
Yeah. If they do this twist again, they need to figure out a different way of presenting the twist.
Yes.
It's excuse me. I don't know.
Excuse me, sir.
What do you want?
Fuck off, Dan.
I'm trying to tally the votes.
But at that point, I think at that point it was obvious that Carolyn was playing it, the idol. I said this to Noah off air that I think that Dan was silly playing it. Noah, you disagree with me? Talk us through why you disagree with me thinking that Dan playing it was silly.
I don't think it was a silly move by Dan. I'm not saying Dan is like Brian Heidig, but
I'll disagree with you there, my friend.
Well, yeah, maybe some aspects of Dan is Brian Heidig.
No.
But no. But I don't think it was a silly move. I don't see how it's a silly move because, yeah, they said they're going to vote for Carolyn, but Dan's name was being chucked around and he got votes. Will voted for him. And, of course, Carolyn can't vote for Mike, so who's Carolyn going to vote for? She's going to have to vote for someone, Dan. Mike's going to have to vote for someone, Dan. Will voted Dan 2 weeks ago, so I wouldn't be trusting Will with my life. I would think it's a complete possibility that Will could be voting Dan. So I think that's at least 3 votes, and that makes a tie, Purple Rock. So to break that tie, the vote doubler, he can only use it one more time after this, and you may as well get yourself to the final 5. Like, obviously no one knew Carolyn had the idol. So it wasn't a silly move, I don't think, because Dan realistically could have gone home this week. I just think, why wait until next week when you're gone?
I do see that point, but I mean, my argument again is that, I mean, Dan was all but certain that Will was on his side this week, and
I don't think he was. He always seems Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. I just thought that it seemed as though that Dan was sure, and if you're that sure about it, keep it. And then if it does, I mean, again, they didn't know she had the idol, fair enough. But, I mean, it might, by him playing it, that was, I mean, Carolyn was definitely playing it at that point. But if he didn't play his advantage, maybe she wouldn't have used it. And then she goes home.
Yeah, but they have zero idea. Like, that's just saying, like, you have a hidden immunity idol. Like,
Shut up, I don't.
Plus, next week, assuming Dan stayed, or even with him gone, it's still 3 of the Sinister Six, as Shireen likes to call them. It's still 3 of them against 2 of Carolyn and Mike. So even if it was a waste or whatever, they've still got numbers going into it. So I don't think it was a bad, silly move at all.
Cable, what do you think?
I'm a bit like Noah from before. I'm still sort of processing, the numbers and stuff. But I was surprised Dan used it the way he did. I guess you'd have to have seen it pre-tribal council, but I still thought he could have been smart enough. He felt like he was on the block, and he knew Carolyn was also on the block. He's put the vote.
What are they doing on the block? Didn't that finish like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. Well, he's obviously... No,
that's just season 84, Noah, didn't you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and they rip off everything from Survivor, by the way. But... So I understand him putting that extra vote on Carolyn, but I don't know, there's a part of me that's thinking maybe, I don't know, he could have played it a different way. I'm not sure
but
what
if he
sort of
put
mechanics.
A vote on, say he put a vote on Rodney or Sierra or Will, next week they flip, because it's down to the final 5 and he's voting for and they all know he's done it because he said, excuse me, Jeff. So I feel like if you did that, maybe it evens your chances out, but it's not good for the long run in your game.
Sort of on a tangent, did anybody kind of have a brief moment where they thought someone like Rodney or Sierra was about to be blindsided, a la Jeremy?
Yeah.
There was like a flicker. I'm thinking, oh, are we going to get like a complete mindfuck blindside again here?
I was really kind of hoping for it. I think they edited it well. I agree with you. I think we sort of thought it would be a Carolyn, maybe Dan sort of situation, but the fact that Mike kind of put it out there, oh, maybe I might vote for one of these other guys because they think they're safe and this and that. And then I thought when he was talking about Rodney and Dan in the heart, they know they're safe. Then I thought, you know what, I wouldn't surprise if Mike threw a vote Rodney's way, but the only other thing I was thinking was I thought Sierra was sort of flipping because she kind of said something in tribal that I felt like gave Mama C a hint to actually make sure she played the idol. I can't remember the line, but she kind of sort of said about not walking out without idols and in your back pocket and stuff like that. And I thought that felt like she was hinting to Mama C, but obviously I was wrong because she voted for her as well. So, but
do you think they will do this vote doubler nonsense ever again?
I think it's a possibility. I mean, it's not like an epic fail, like a medallion of power.
It wasn't an epic fail, but it was kind of like it just made a big target for Dan.
I kind of think. I didn't mind
they will know who has it. Next season, everyone will know. They've got the vote doubler. They don't have an idol.
I didn't mind it. I thought it was something different. I feel they'll use it again. I don't know about you guys.
Why don't they use it in a different way? Like it's like an idol, like it's planted at camp somewhere, and instead of it being in that massive, ridiculously oak container like cigar box, why don't they have it just rolled up like the idol clue? Just rolled up, and it's just a parchment. It's rolled up.
Was the blank parchment in that box? Because the parchment he held up looked different. So like, is that like under the clue in that lovely little cigar box? Was there just like a blank?
That's what the box is. It holds the vote.
Okay, so it had the extra parchment. I get it. Right.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure. Now, Catherine brought up a good point in the chat. 2 successful idol plays in a row. Is that a first? Zachary says yes, and he also makes a very good point. 3 successful idol plays in a season, which I think would be a first, if I'm not mistaken. So, that is an... Did I just lose Noah, or did I lose both of you?
No, I'm here, but I did drop out before.
No, okay, I just heard Noah's back.
Yep.
Yeah, so 3 successful idol plays in a season. That's got to be a first. Don't think anyone... Yeah, we'll get somebody to tweet us or something like that. Let us know. Anyway, Dan's gone. Final thoughts on Dan Cable?
Let's just say he's not going to be forgotten anytime soon. So he got his wish. He sort of, went as far as he probably could, and probably went further than he probably should have. And he's definitely a memorable character and said a lot of things that people won't forget anytime soon. So, yeah.
Zachary just brought up Heroes Villains, Tom, Jerry, and Parvati. Was Tom six? Yeah,
Tom and Jerry.
Tom. Yeah, and that hidden cartoon, Tom, Jerry, and Parvati. So, no final words on Dan?
I really didn't like Dan throughout the season, but I have to say I was a bit disappointed when he was voted out. Like, he brought a lot of humour to the season, and if we really examine it, Dan's social game is horrible. But I actually think the rest of Dan's game isn't that terrible. Like, I thought he played an okay game outside of the social aspect with, like, the strategy-wise, and he was in the majority for the most of the game. He was making moves, so I don't think he goes down as like a bottom 10 player or something. It's just his social game was clearly awful. But I agree with Cable. He wanted it to be remembered. I think he'll be remembered. I'm kind of glad he got to live his dream. 6th place is pretty good. And watch his Ponderosa video if you want a bucket of ironic laughter. I think it is hilarious. Some of the stuff that he says during the Ponderosa video. But I think I like Dan. He's okay.
I just got distracted, sorry. Zachary mentioned Jacqueline in the chat. Sorry, continue, Cable.
Oh, Jacqueline.
I was going to ask you, Ben, like... Oh, hang on.
Sorry, I was just doing home assistant.
Yeah.
I'll shut up.
Actually, have you seen there's a comparison between her picture of Miss Michigan and her with all the mud on her in San Juan del Sur of Jacqueline?
No, I have not seen that.
Have you seen that?
Like to.
If you go to the CBS, there's a CBS. I think it's CBS website. They have the survivors looking, how they look on the island and how they look off.
I have seen that. Yeah, no, I have.
And she's one of the ones, but I still think she's hot with all the mud on her in a bikini. But anyway,
you could have finished that sentence with the words, "I think she's just hot."
Yeah, well, yeah, but she's dirty and she's hot still. What was I going to say now? I've totally. Oh no. Did you? For both of you guys, did you feel that also with in the back of your mind subconsciously having that thought of Mike and Carolyn being on the ballot for next season, even though they could still win and then they'd be disqualified from that running, did you feel that maybe one of them might go tonight? Because I sort of had that feeling in the back of my mind. I was sort of thinking, depending on, again, how the cards fall, I reckon maybe one of them might go.
In a way, yes, because it would have then given them a week to campaign, I guess.
I thought Carolyn was a potential.
Yeah, I mean, it would have... I can see what you're saying, but... I mean, I think with that immunity challenge, it was obvious Mike was winning with the amount of focus on Mike's going home tonight if he loses. Mike is so going home. Oh, I can't wait to see Mike going home. Who's winning immunity? Oh, Mike! What a surprise. But, I see what you're saying. I think...
Carolyn and Mike are both good players and both big characters. They shouldn't have been on this list because it's really screwing with the enjoyment of watching them. Because that's just in my mind the entire time, this list business. There's plenty of more opportunities to bring back Mike and Carolyn. They should have left them off for this one.
Yeah, I agree. We'll get to these final bits. Zachary also brought up San Juan del Sur had Jacqueline, John, and Keith successful idol plays. So, okay, we've had other ones with threes. Good job, Zachary. Thank you.
They did? Jacqueline, John, and Keith? What?
What? Oh, that was the season. Oh, right, yeah.
It was I thought you were going down a sexual innuendo path there.
Cable!
No, did Jacqueline, John, and Keith have 3... I'm thinking of... Yeah, never mind.
Okay, sorry. I was thinking... my mind.
I'm thinking about hidden immunity idols. I don't know what you're thinking about.
Hiding the immunity idol now. Oh, okay.
Oh, stop it. God, you're so immature, both of you. Jesus.
Next.
Terrible. I will slap myself.
I would never say anything like that, ever. Yes. Now, we shall go over some final questions and all that sort of stuff. I'm interviewing Michaela in 16 minutes, so I better hurry up. So, in terms of the sweep, it is bye-bye Nook. Nook's gone.
Yeah, he always wins.
Yeah, well, I'm sad that he's gone, because generally he gives me the money if he wins stuff, so fucking hell. Noah, you're going to be eliminated next, aren't you?
It happens every damn time.
Oh, yes. So still in it. Noah, you've got Carolyn. Fucking Jimmy!
Who does he have?
Mike!
Jimmy!
Stop winning, Jimmy! I'm not taking this anymore. Julian's got Rodney. Of course, Julian last week lost Tyler. Joppy's still there with Sierra, which is essentially Gemma. I think Joppy's given it to Gemma. And
that doesn't matter.
James has Will. So Jimmy or Noah are winning this money. So
Woo! No,
don't vote for him. Don't.
If you want to, but don't.
I see Jared's watching. Hello, Jared. Jared was going to join us, but he's only just finished watching the episode. And Colin also was, but he's just finished watching too.
Just finished watching.
But he's Canadian. So just quickly, I did listen to the Oztopsy last week, and you were wondering, you went off at me for not sending in the predictions. Tyler last week, I won't go through it. Rossi got the point. He said he would be 5th, and obviously Tyler was 7th. Jared, 14th, you said Tyler would be. So this week, all right, Dan the Man. He finished in...
I don't get points.
He finished in 6th position. Noah, you said he'd be the first boot, so you're not getting a point. I said he'd be the second boot, so I'm not getting a point. Rossi said he'd be the second boot, not getting a point. Joppy said he would be 9th. He's closest so far. Julian said he would be second. So, yeah, all right.
Could be it.
Paul said he would be fifth.
Oh, good job, Paul.
But Jared
No.
said he would be 16th.
I knew it was too good to be true.
Sorry, Jared. Paul gets the point. And Paul jumps up into second. I'm still winning. Yay! I'm on 6. Paul's on 5. Noah is on 4. Rossi's on 3. Julian and Joppy on 2. And Jared is on 0 points. Getting the Eurovision theme going on there. All right. Hashtag for this episode and hashtag for the episode of Survivor Oz. Noah?
For the episode of Survivor Oz, hashtag McSurf and Turf. For the episode of Survivor, hashtag love my mum to death. I don't know. I can't think of anything. There were a lot of little funny moments, but I'm going blank.
I'd say hashtag 200 sayings going to therapy.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Cable.
Hashtag whole enchilada. And hashtag... What are you laughing for? Rodney said that. That was his one of his comments.
That's right, with the fruit. Sorry,
Yeah,
completely...
the whole
Oh, yeah, we forgot about the fruit.
We forgot about the fruit.
Dan brought me a watermelon.
It was like an award.
That was great. I loved it.
And when he said the whole enchilada, I laughed. So I thought that has to be the hashtag.
And all the enchiladas.
And then for this episode, hashtag Louise from the block.
Yes, no, her and I are going to be competing on the 85th season. We're building a new apartment block in Mudgee. Anyway, now before I get to the final questions, I didn't go over the confessionals. Everybody this episode got a confessional. The most was Mike. Again, he got 8. So the ones left in the game, Mike's on 63, Rodney's on 50, Carolyn 43, Will on 22, and Sierra has 18. So Carolyn nearly got more in the first episode than Sierra has all season. Alright, who's winning the game, Noah?
As far as I'm concerned, at this point, only 2 people can win the game. Mike Holloway or Carolyn, who are both on the list. I think these are the only 2 potentials going into the finale. And I'm going to say at this point, and I hope because I want $100, I think it's going to be partly based on her not campaigning much at all, really. Carolyn Mum-C Rivera. Yeah. I think she is the winner of this season, but if Mike wins, I won't be shocked at all.
Hey, you know what's great about the fact if you win $100 next week, I have to give that $100 to you then, and then you can shout us, McDonald's, build your own.
Oh, well, in that case, Mike wins.
You might get $50 still, so...
In that case, we'll win. I'm not buying you McDonald's.
I still owe you $5 for the fucking nachos.
Nachos.
So I'll buy you something next week. No, I have money now.
Nuggets.
I'll buy you 2 cheeseburgers. Cable, who's winning this season?
Yeah, I have to agree with no. I think Carolyn's. I think Mike's obviously the other possibility, but I think Carolyn, just the way the editing's gone, unless it's really good editing to sort of throw us off a little bit, but I think she gets to the end.
No one ever asked me, so I'm saying Carolyn.
Yeah, I'd like to know your answers for these last episodes.
Yeah, Carolyn. Didn't we? Hang on a minute. What we need to do? We did that last season. Quickly, we've got to get our order. We did this last season with San Juan del Sur. Remember?
Yeah.
All right. So hang on. Let me just quickly.
For the final 5.
What have I got? 10 minutes before Michaela. That's all right.
Yep.
Plenty of time.
You can do it.
All right. What's the order? Cable. Give me from fifth to first.
Oh shit! All right. So first, Carolyn will win, and she will beat Sierra and Rodney in the finals.
All right.
And I think, Mike probably Mike 4th, and Will will be the next to go because Mike will win immunity again.
So Mike is going to be the Aussie / Malcolm. Close. Yep.
Yeah. Look, I mean, they're very smart the way they foreshadow and show us what's happening next week. But I got the feeling they kind of gave a little hint that maybe someone does just miss out on a challenge or something that could cost them the money, I reckon it might be Mike.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at Jared, Ben and Noah arguing in the supermarket. Ben and Noah arguing over a fillet of fish.
Carolyn 1, Sierra will come second.
Rodney third, Mike fourth, Will fifth.
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, Noah, the order, what's going on?
I was so wrong last season, but I'm going to say fifth place will be Mike, fourth place Rodney, third place Will, second place Sierra, maybe 1 or 2 votes because Shireen probably won't vote Carolyn, and first place Karen.
All right, I'm going fifth place Sierra, fourth place Mike, third place. Well, Carolyn's winning. I think Carolyn's going to win unanimously with a Will Rodney final 3. But look, I'll just put for shit and giggle's sake, will get third and Rodney will get second. But I think Carolyn will win unanimously if that's the final 3. I don't think Rodney and Will get a vote. But anyway, so next to go, you've already answered that. So Noah, you've said Mike's next to go. Cable, you said Will's next to go. Seems as Noah bitches about me never asking this question whenever I don't host this fucking show. What player are you playing most like, or what player would you... Whatever the question is, Noah, answer it.
A mixture of Will, Dan, and Rodney because I suck.
Cable.
I think I said Tyler last week, and I'll probably stick with that, probably.
And Jared's just told me that it's going to be on at 8:45 next week on Go, which is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
Means it doesn't finish at 12:30, so our Oztopsy will be at 11:30 and not 12:30. Yay!
What if we're not there?
Yeah. Well, what if Bond's still going on, Noah? Yeah, true.
Well,
we'll host it from the Federation Concert Hall. All right, well, that wraps up this Oztopsy. I don't have to work next Friday, so I can stay up late. My parents will let me stay up past my bedtime. Yay. Thank you to everybody tuning in, to Gerard, to Catherine, to Jared. We've lost a few people. Zachary's gone. Terry's still there. Hello. And that shithead Noah. God, he just doesn't ever...
Better than Moggy.
Yes. So a couple of housekeeping matters in terms of if you're watching this live... this won't be posted online until tomorrow night, Friday night. Same with our Tasha, our Michaela interviews, which I'm about to interview Michaela now, interview Tasha before we started. And then tomorrow morning, I've got Stephanie and Stephen that I'm chatting to. So all of them won't be up till Friday night. Oh, how big is Stephen? Can we just point this out? This is a guy who we never thought would be on the show ever. And he's finally going to be on the show. So...
Stop calling me Stephen.
Woo! Oh, not Woo.
Don't vote for Woo!
Well, vote whoever you want, but Key.
But not for Woo. Hashtag vote for Kelly Wigglesworth. So, yes, Friday night they'll be up. If you're listening to this on Friday night, well, you already fucking know that, so download the other ones. Our recap of this week is Cass. That was already booked in, like, months ago, so it's how convenient. So I'm doing that on Sunday, Australian time. And no doubt we'll go for long. So if you've got questions relating to this episode, this season for Cass, as well as, of course, her going on Second Chance, do that. In terms of the other Second Chance interviews, Kelly and Jim will be next.
Michaela.
Michaela, 5 minutes. She's not on Skype yet, so that's all right. Kelly Wentworth and Jim next week. Andrew Savage next week, and any others that we'll confirm in the meantime, which probably won't be many more. Woo. Has he done any? Does he know he's on the list?
Think he's campaign.
I don't think
no
he
one
knows.
told him he was on there.
He's going to be like in the audience next week going, what am I doing here?
Get on the plane, Woo. What?
What?
Oh, Survivor. I remember this show.
Is there coconut trees? So stay tuned for that. Remember to vote each day. Our finale recapper, I said I would tell you who it is going to be. It is going to be a long one because we're getting our very good friend John Carroll back on. And can I just point out that John has been very vocal on social media this week. John isn't too happy, and I think rightfully so. Let's be honest, that he's not on the Second Chances list. And so John will have a lot to say about this season, a lot to say about Second Chances. And
Juice on Bay wasn't happy.
And so she should be. And I just discovered this week that John was in a Britney Spears film clip. So
he was?
He was in a Britney Spears, and like I've seen it. It's John Carroll. He's in it twice. So I'll show it to you. So that will be
Hit
next
me,
week.
Chad, one more time.
Well, the song was Boys, so it suits him. So yeah, watch Boys by Britney Spears on YouTube right now to see John Carroll in it twice. He walks in.
Watch Boys on YouTube? What are you telling us to do, man?
He walks in
This
with
is
a
like
zebra.
Catherine shit here, watching Boys on...
He walks in with a zebra, and then he's at the bar when Pharrell is trying to mac it on with Britney. You look in the background and you see John Carroll serving drinks. So,
How old is he?
Boys, 2001.
This is pre-Survivor? No.
Yeah, it would have been for Mark Hazen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. There you go. So John
I
was,
want to hear this story next.
John was a big fucking deal. He's hanging out with Britney Spears and Pharrell Williams. So,
And you got Michaela in like 2 minutes.
3 minutes. Shut up, Cable. I'm tagging our show.
I don't want to miss it.
SurvivorOz.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Side note, The Amazing Race Oz might be up within the next 6 weeks. Don't know. And
And vote Michaela.
Euros Vision, we're behind the times because we haven't recorded an episode in like 2 weeks, but we're like doing shitloads of episodes on Sunday because Eurovision's in like a week. So we've got a lot to catch up on. Catherine, our only listener, we will get those up for you.
We are golden boys.
Yes, we are golden boys. And yes, hashtag vote for Wigglesworth. Noah, thank you.
Thank you. 1 week left. Excited for the finale. And hashtag campaign for Keith. Stick to the plan. Roger that. Let's get Keith back on Survivor.
Cable, thank you.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
And yeah, this time in a week, we will know the winner of Survivor Worlds Apart, and we will know what 20 people are playing season 31. So, very exciting. Thanks everyone tuning in live. My name is Ben. The Tribe has spoken. We will speak to you next time on The Terrain.